Oh, good evening. Hi, I'm Jen. Thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday evening. It helps that it's a little dreary here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's easier to get on a video, but either way, we really appreciate your time tonight. So we're going to keep this as quick as possible, under 30 minutes, and then we're going to open it up to Q&A at the end. I am going to be sharing my screen and sharing some stuff here, but we are going to be sharing about this amazing products that have changed my life personally. But I'm Jen, so I am a regenerative health coach and soon to be practitioner. Before I learned about regenerative health, I actually was a wedding planner and knew very little about anything nutrition other than I was super sick and I needed to change something in my life. So I'm going to kind of weave in my own story while I share my screen with you. Dietra, you'll have to give me access to share my screen. But while Dietra's doing that, I just started my life in just such a depleted space. Thank you so much. My life was pretty chaotic, owning my own company. And because of that, I was very stressed out, and I was gaining weight up and down and all over the place. And I was dealing with nerve pain and unexplained infertility and all kinds of crazy health issues. And when I first heard this health opportunity that we're going to discuss today, I was in a very depleted state, sad state. I was pretty depressed. I was anxious. I was dealing with unexplained nerve pain. Like I said, I had gone to all kinds of different doctors, and they had just kept telling me that I needed to take more baths and rest and, put my feet up and stuff like that. But I could barely walk sometimes around the my yard here with my kids. So I was in my early 30s and really struggled with my health. And so when I found this information, my life really was saved from a lot of suffering. So thank you again for joining us for our health opportunity. This is Purium, and Purium really stands for pure and premium. And regenerative health, I spoke about that earlier. Regenerative health really just means getting to the root cause. So when I was, going to doctors, podiatrists, I was getting cortisone shots and treatment, right? We all are looking for the answer. A lot of that was really treatment based. I was not getting to the root cause. And so we here are collectively a group of people that are regenerative health coaches, practitioners, just holistic minded people in general, but also traditional naturopaths as well. So we feel very strong about regenerative health and getting really to the root cause of what is really ailing our bodies and our minds. So with Purium is a solution that we have found and a vehicle to get us to the other side. So Purium is, like I said, it comes from pure and premium together. And we are essentially a regenerative grown farm. So Purium really adheres to that farm to family philosophy. So when things are sent to you, it's sent from our farms. It's not made in a lab. And I think you'll hear that many times tonight, that we truly have a farm to family philosophy. So we have the highest quality plant-based superfood nutrition on the planet. And this started 28 years ago. Dave and Amy are the owners. They always have been. Dave believed then and still believes now that the answer to a lot of our suffering is that we're not eating enough organic raw plant foods. And so what we have is they're all organic, actually more than organic. So let's kind of break that down for a second. Organic just means, an organic farm just means that they are not actively spraying chemical pesticides on their farm for up to 3 years. Okay, so regeneratively grown means that they never ever spray, right? But then also they are adding back minerals, and they're testing the soil, and the soil is alive, and that's where the microorganisms live in the soil. And so just really simply put, the soil is alive, so therefore we feel alive when we eat plants that are grown in regenerative soil. And when the soil is nutrient less or does not have living creatures in the soil, we are not feeling alive, right? We're feeling depleted. And so this is where a lot of the ailments come into play with a lot of how we're feeling. We're feeling depleted, not satiated, not alive in our bodies or at home in our bodies right now. So they have always been regeneratively grown, which is so amazing. So they've been around for 28 years now. And just a few short years ago, they switched to this affiliate program where other, us as practitioners and people can share about these amazing products and what they do in the body. They were in co-ops, they were in Whole Foods, and no one knew why we were different than other things in the market. I just was at Costco the other day and I was walking around and there's gobs of different kinds of protein shakes and this chocolate drink and this, and it's like, it's so confusing. And when you look at the ingredients, they're not good. None of them are good. I looked at all of them actually. And so the ingredients really, really matter when you're talking about nutrition and getting whole foods into your body. So they are all grown in the regenerative soil. They crop rotate. This is super important. Now that I'm learning about farming, if you are a gardener, you kind of already know this, you have to allow that soil to repopulate, regenerate, right? And so that crop rotation is very key to growing the best nutrient dense foods in that soil. They add back minerals, green manure, and then they water their plants with natural spring water. And this is so important because our water now is contaminated. If you do not know what glyphosate is, some do on this call, maybe you don't. But if you've heard of the chemicals or the compound called Roundup, you'll see this in Menards and Home Depot, possibly in your garage, right? Roundup is a chemical pesticide that we are spraying on our farms and actually use as a weed killer. And this is actually patented as an oral antibiotic. The main ingredient in Roundup is called glyphosate. And glyphosate wreaks havoc in our body, but we spray so much now on a yearly basis. It's like 5.6 billion pounds. There's so much chemicals and toxins in our food, air, water system. So we are literally surrounded by toxins in a constant basis. So this is actually in our rain. They've tested our rain. There's glyphosate in our rain. So that's why it's so important to really water the ground with natural spring water. And then when they wait until all of the products, and when I say products, I mean plants, fruits, herbs, they wait until they're completely vine ripened. And this is important as well because the chemistry of the food changes as it gets ripened. You've probably heard that bananas, right? They do different things when they're green versus when they're yellow versus when they're brown, right? And so the chemistry of the plants truly change as they ripen. So it's very important to wait until they're vine ripened. And then we actually wind dry them, which is key because you're not heating and cooling, and then it's keeping those nutrients in the plants, and then they're packaging it and then sending it directly to your door. So we really believe that that real foods will give you real results. And yes, can we go to the store and buy organic fruits and feel better? Yes, that's great. But again, remember, organic doesn't mean nutrient dense, right? So I already had gone down that route of trying to figure out this diet and heal my body. And I was already eating organic. I was already eating clean, and I was still dealing with massive amounts of pain in my body and depletion. And when someone was talking to me about the soil, I was like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. Even though I'm eating salads and eating, plants and eating clean, I was still adding a lot of inflammation in my body and actually was feeling depleted because it has to do with the soil. So I want to talk to you just about our promise in Purium, because every company, they have standards, right? So I want to talk to you about ours because they're absolutely impeccable and the best I've ever seen on the market. I've tried you could literally throw out any kind of thing and I've tried it. I've been desperate for about 6 years. And when I went through the cleanse that I'm going to speak to you about here in just a few minutes, I was blown away by how I felt, and it was just whole foods. And so it all goes back to the soil health and where the food is grown from and all of the additives and preservatives that the other companies are adding in. And so we actually have an in-house microbiologist that runs every single ingredient through a 5-tier quarantine. And then it's also scanned by an infrared molecular scan to match for our purity standards. Our specific purity, because this again is very different between different companies, right? And that's why we're all trying something new, trying different vitamins, like, okay, I'm deficient here, and we're all kind of trying to figure out what's going to make us feel better, right? And so this is truly important when you're looking at something to start new and to really help support your nutrition. So our purity means no trace heavy metals. That's super important. No GMOs, genetically modified organisms, no pesticides, herbicides, insecticides, and biocides, no binders, fillers, colors, preservatives, or additives. So of course, we've talked about this already. We are beyond USDA organic standards. Now, Dave, fun fact, the owner of Purium, he was actually the reason why we even have a label that is called USDA organic seal. 28 years ago, the government tried to force him to spray chemical pesticides on his farms, and he refused and actually fought it and went to the Supreme Court. And they were so incredibly impressed by his standards that they created this seal of approval for all farms that wanted to stay organic. Now, we believe here that food should be a right and not a privilege. And so we want to keep the cost as low as possible for our standards, right? So everything is vegan, non-GMO, kosher. So it should be completely safe for all people, okay? Couple of our products here. So the most popular is our Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation, or short ULT. And I'm going to talk about these individual products here in just a moment, but this is what I started with in January of last year. And when I started, if you follow me at all on Instagram, you have seen my story. If you haven't, I'm glad you're here to hear it, but I was suffering, right? We just talked about all of that and how I was feeling. In the first 6 days, I released 6 pounds of inflammation. My nerve pain completely went away. My belly started to shrink because I was eliminating what's called a mucoid plaque, and that is built up by glyphosate and other oils that is mixed. So when you eat wheat mixed with glyphosate, it creates a mucoid plaque in your belly walls that can cause a lot of bloating and fatigue in your body. And what it does is it really obstructs your microvilli from taking in any nutrients in your small intestines. And so we got to get rid of that, and so we can detoxify that so that we can actually start to absorb the nutrition that we're actually eating. So that's just one part. So it's really detoxifying. It's bringing in those phyto and micronutrients that we're missing. That's from that soil, right? We're making sure that soil is healthy so that we're getting in those micronutrients intracellular. And then the third part is our super aminos, which is the plant protein. And I'll go into that in just a little bit, but healthy greens, healthy protein, gut health, it's all organic fruits. And then we have that like natural colon cleansing support as well, which gets rid of pathogens, parasites, worms, and those such things. So that is our cleanse. It also has a healthy sleep support that I'll go into detail in just a moment. And then our second most popular package is our ULT Plus Performance. So this is our cleanse, plus pre and post workout. This is what I personally use almost on a daily basis. I do work out as much as I possibly can, but this is a great option for any professional athletes or anyone that lifts weight on an ongoing basis or just works out daily and really wants to support their fitness routine as well as going through a cleanse. So it's super supportive on both sides. And when you're talking about fitness, a lot of people will take like, pre and post workouts that have a lot of chemicals and additives in it. They'll also have a protein shake that has whey and other really harmful things for your body. That's going to actually bring a lot of inflammation into your tissues. So we are actually made of two fluid systems. We're made of 20% is our blood, which has a natural pump. Our blood feeds our glands and our organs. And then the rest is our lymphatic system, which is cleans our body, right? So that's the other 80%. And so when we have a lot of inflammation in our body, we're holding that in our lymph system. And when you work out, it's important to support your muscles. And the pre and post workout is absolutely incredible because it goes intracellular for natural ATP and energy. And then actually we'll start to, with our super xanthan, will help you get rid of that lactic acid or those toxins that start to build up in the muscles. And you can start to build healthy muscle tissue that's even stronger than before. And then bringing back any electrolytes in the system as well. So I drink like the cocoa hydrate during my workout so that I can sustain a workout as well. So there's some great options there for someone who wants to continue up with their fitness routine while they're cleansing. We also have a couple of other options. So we have kid offerings. My family, there's 4 of us in our house. We're actually going to be doing the cleanse together on the 18th. And I have 2 kids, and then I have my husband. And so my kids are going to be taking this chocolate shake. And what's awesome about this is it's a 5-in-1. So it has all of our main 4 products all in one. And it's just absolutely incredible for children. We've seen such incredible results. People, kids with asthma that are doing so much better, kids that have dealt with any ADHD symptoms or any neurological issues, getting much, much better taking this product. And it's all in one. So it's just 1 shake a day. And then if you want to cleanse, it would be 2 shakes a day for the kiddos. And then our In Focus is a wonderful herb blend that really nourishes their adrenal glands. And helps them just feel at ease. A lot of kids can get kind of like ruffled with homework and all that is on their plate, especially teenagers. And so this In Focus is so, so good for their nervous system to just calm them, bring them back at home into their body. And it is truly just an herb blend tincture. And then we have our Daily Core 4, and these are our 4 main products. And this is really what I would call foundational nutrition, the 4 things that we're essentially missing in our life. And if you think of the Daily Core 4 times 2, that would be our cleanse plus our parasites. So I'm going to kind of talk about our 4 main products here. And then after I do this, I'm going to turn it over to Deetra to kind of just share quickly her experience with the products as well. So the Super Aminos 23, I want to talk to you a little bit more in depth about. So this is our plant protein. So let's kind of break down what protein is. So our body actually will, we really can only, fold proteins with these aminos. So our body actually needs 20. We make 11 internal, but we actually need 9 essential aminos from our plants. So what is happening to our plants right now? They're being sprayed with chemical pesticides. And what's happening is it's breaking the shikimate pathway to our plants. What that means is they're no longer making these 9 essential amino acids. So you can eat all these plants and we're like, our body's like trying to write a sentence with no vowels. We're missing 9 essential amino acids. And so we need these in order to truly build healthy muscle, connective tissue, bone density, skin elasticity. So actually this, if you've been on anything on social media or even walking around in the store, you've seen collagen, right? Collagen is the rage right now. Everyone's like, get your collagen here, folks, right? Everyone's talking about collagen. Well, our super aminos mixed with this apothecary allows your body to naturally produce collagen. Okay. And actually, collagen, animal collagen, is actually a very harmful to animals. And also, it's kind of what we say here is when you take it, you don't make it, right? Same thing with collagen, as well as like a healthy sleep support or melatonin, for instance. We don't want to take synthetics. We want our body to naturally produce what we need. And so that's what we're doing here, is we're just really supporting our glands and organs so that they can start to produce what we actually need and function properly. So that's our Super Aminos 23. Actually, this is so incredible. A lot of, this was actually developed for comatose patients to make sure that their muscles didn't atrophy. So you'll see this in my before and after pictures. If you're curious, I'm happy to send them to you. But you'll see how I developed natural, like looking muscles without having to work out. I did not work out during my cleanse, but you'll see I was forming muscle. How did I do that? It was truly because of this Super Aminos 23, and my body was just naturally producing that, that muscle growth and healthy muscle tissue. And then this has also been written up in the physician desk, and we can send you those as well, that report. But many celebrities and athletes take this. It's an incredible product. The Power Shake is really that micro and phytonutrients I've been talking about. One shake is equivalent to 5 to 6 superfood salads. So let's say you go out to eat and you get a massive salad and it's full of amazing vegetables, right? And it's going to be pretty large, right, to get enough nutrients in there. Think about that times 5 or times 6. That's how much micro and phytonutrients we actually need to take in on a daily basis to feel alive, to feel like us, right? And so I don't know about you, I don't have time to eat that many salads, okay? So this is the easiest way to get the nutrients in to your body, and it tastes delicious. It's an apple berry flavor, or you can also get it unflavored and then blend it with your own berries if you choose to do so. But you get 96% of your phyto and micronutrients in this shake. It's all fruits and vegetables, that superfood blend. And then the Biomedic is really what we're really known for. This is a proprietary herb blend. And what this does is it just starts to, it's a pre and post probiotic, but it's all herbs. And what it does is it actually starts to pull away that mucoid plaque in that belly wall so that it starts to get rid of that, that obstruction in your gut. You'll actually start your gut to see your gut start to go down, right? Because you can actually hold pounds of sludge in our belly walls from glyphosate. I know it's gross to think about, but we have to detoxify our bodies in order to get our bodies to work properly. And this product is actually the only one in the market that is actually clinically proven to reduce glyphosate by 75% and reduce that C-reactive protein, that inflammatory response in the body. So that's incredible. And then our apothecary juice is our healthy sleep support. This repairs overnight. It's that antioxidants. You can take it as a sleep aid, like right before you go to bed. It will help your gut naturally produce melatonin. We talked about that a little bit earlier, but this will help your body just lull yourself to sleep. It helps you actually get into that REM sleep where we have this healing sleep overnight. Healing sleep happens between 10 and 4. your body actually goes through a process of going through each organ. So like, 4 o'clock is your liver, and nervous system is right away in the night. So it's really important to be sleeping and having that deep REM sleep. If you're nursing, or if you're up late with kids, or if you are, brand new mom, I get it. You might be sleeping 3-hour stints, 4-hour stints here. What I have heard from my clients and other people is that when you're sleeping, even if it's not consecutively, you're getting back into that REM sleep and you are feeling much more rested in the morning, even if you are only getting like 3 hours at a time or 4 hours at a time. So it is really a great way to support your body fully in all of these things that we're really missing in our daily life. So I want to turn it over to Deetra to share her story about what happened to her when she introduced these products into her body.
Hi, I'll just share really quickly so that we can open up for questions. But I was the person that Jen was describing. I was using lots of isolated and synthetic vitamins for over 5 years. They were packaged as holistic and natural. And so I really didn't know at that time that there was a difference between organic, regenerative versus holistic and natural. But what that was doing was overworking my liver. And I didn't consider myself to have any health needs. I actually considered myself to be pretty healthy. My family and I have eaten organically for 9 years. I'm an athlete, so I work out every day, and I felt fine until I started taking these superfoods and I realized that I actually had quite a few deficits. So I thought my constantly being in the kitchen, in the pantry, was that I just had really high metabolism from all my activity, but I was actually very malnourished and I didn't know it. And I thought that my cycles that were very long in length and very heavy, I thought that that was just because I had 4 kids and I had nursed them all. And when you have a lot of kids, then you have longer cycles. But it was actually that I had overworked my liver from taking isolated supplements and from having an acidic diet that I thought was healthy, because the American Standard Diet, there are a lot of foods in there that are packaged as healthy, but they really were putting my body in a state of acidity. And so I really had to do some work to get my body to a place of being alkaline, but it didn't really take long because I just added in these superfoods and it allowed my body to switch over into being alkaline and well nourished, and it started to clean up on its own. I noticed those things in the first 3 weeks, and it's been a full year. So it was a year in February. And the longer that I've continued, the more changes that I have noticed. And so, and it's been an easy change. It's not something that I have to go and think hard about. It's all here for me. So just doing the ultimate lifestyle transformation is what I started with. And in those first 3 weeks after starting that, my first cycle was shorter. It was such an event in my home when I had my monthly cycles, but that first cycle was shorter and lighter. And I didn't have the mood swings and I didn't need to take a nap and I wasn't feeling worn down. And it's because my body was starting to regenerate itself just from adding this in. So thank you guys for being on tonight. Thanks for letting me share my story. And we will open up now for questions.
So I am going to share my screen. I have a few more things to share with you, but yes, why don't you start to put your questions in the chat and I can answer them as we continue on here. So our spring cleanse, actually, thanks Deetra for sharing. Our spring cleanse actually starts on April 18th. So that's next Monday. So we'd be happy to have you. We're collectively doing it together. And then there's a couple of things I just wanted to point out is right now we are offering these 3 options. These are the most popular, but we do like to curate for you and what you are going through currently and, based upon your health history. So if you are here with someone else, you can go back to that person and we can help you curate, or you can stay on and we can help you as well. Just talk through what might be best for you to order. So we have that ULT plus performance, which is going to nourish and detoxify, build that healthy lean muscle. It's also a chemical free, and that's key with pre and post workout to really help support your body to thrive, because just because you're a fitness fanatic does not necessarily mean that you are alkaline inside of your body. And that's what we really want to see in order for you to thrive in your health internally. And then we have that ULT, which is that cleanse support. It's that foundational nutrition. We're going to remove toxins, pesticides, pathogens, and then that deep restorative sleep. And then we have our daily core 4, which is again that like foundational nutrition. This is going to nourish. It still removes chemicals and pesticides with that biomedic, builds healthy muscle with the super aminos, and then deep restorative sleep with our apothecary. And then we also have customer support for you. We have an app that we have developed that's going to support your journey. Tons of information in there for you. It's where you can ask questions collectively as well during your process. We also have 2 customer support calls weekly that you can get on and ask any of your health questions and wins. And that's kind of where we collectively come together as a community. And then we offer a complimentary weekly Wellness Wednesday call every Wednesday at noon. And we also have Facebook pages quarterly with group transformations. So thank you so much. I know I went a few minutes over, but I just love this information so much. It has truly transformed my life, how I work through everything that I do. I take the stuff on the go wherever I go. I was just doing a walkthrough. I'm a wedding planner, and I had my Purium bottle. Everyone knows I bring it with me wherever I go because it just makes me feel so incredible. It's easy to pack up. Yeah, so I'd love to, where's a good place to start? Okay, so Marissa, I'm going to stop the recording and then I'm going to take some questions, okay?